How you doing? My name's Trey Schlichting from A Company Archery Training here in South Texas. We're trying to do videos here in Texas, and one of the problems that we run into is the wind. As a result of that, a lot of the video that we're about to show you, we're having to take the sound out or dub over, simply because it's so windy out here. What I want to talk to you today is about how to set up a cross-country course. What's the difference between cross-country field archery and cross-country sports track? And so basically, the difference is barriers. So you'll see a lot of these post and rope barriers, and I brought this indoors. This is what we use a lot of, a laundry line and fiberglass poles when we're setting up a sports track. And when you see a cross-country sports track, we usually refer to it as a Polish course. You can also set up a cross-country course through the woods, down the side of the house, in a vacant lot, around a pond or a stream. The versatility of it is what makes it so nice. What I'm going to show you today is how to set up a cross-country course in an open field. So I don't have this great wooded lot to run through. If I did, that's all I'd do. But the fact is that I got a hay field to train in and to teach in. And as a result, I have to make do. And so what I use is I make gates. And this is really handy when you're hosting a competition and you want spectators to actually see what's going on. You know, when you're in Sweden or Poland and running through the woods, you really can't see what's going on. And so hosting a cross-country field archery event in a flat plain where folks can see what's going on makes it exciting for the other competitors watching, waiting in line, and also for spectators. So what I use is these slick fiberglass poles. You can get them at most farm and ranch supplies. And we take a tennis ball and poke a hole in it and shove it on top so that it's pretty safe. I like to spread them about 6 paces apart, anywhere from 12 feet to 20 feet, whatever suits you. When it comes to turns, if you're going to make a tight turn, you might want to spread the outside pole a little wider so horses can take it at speed, and because when the horses comes in pretty hot, they're going to be leaning over quite a bit and they might need a little more room. Also, if you're going to do it for an advanced course, you can have a serpentine where you set up these gates that you have to go through to where they're on one side and then the other. But keep in mind, if you want to have novice or intermediate horsemen participate, you want to make the gates easy enough so horses that don't do well on flying lead changes or riders that may not have that balance can go through it safely. Safety's the thing. First, I want to make sure the horse is safe. Secondly, I want to make sure the rider is safe. And so what you're about to see is some video. There's some narration in there. There's probably going to be a little redundancy. But the fact is that we're going to be dubbing over a lot of the heavy wind. So check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. How you doing? My name's Trey Schlichting from A Company Mounted Archery Training here in South Texas. And we're doing a quick video on how to set up a cross-country course for field archery. And so the difference between field archery and the other styles is that there's no barriers. And in order to set up a cross-country course when you don't have wooded lots or you're trying to make it visible for spectators, what we do is we set up these poles as gates. They're about 12 feet apart, and you set up a course where you have to hit the gates in order. And so what we're doing here is we're putting the gates somewhat close to our target. So in field archery, there's no out of bounds, so you can ride anywhere you want, but you still have a time par to hit, and so you really need to hit these gates. And if you miss a gate, you get to 0 for the course. And so we're going to set up a series of about 7 targets. We're going to do something under 1 kilometer, anywhere between 500 meters and 1,000, and just run the course. The targets are going to be usually about 30 meters apart, but they can be further or closer together depending on who sets up the course. The time, and so we're going to do the same thing with the start and stop. Gracie's going to help me over here. We're going to start at the starting where the timer will start. Yeah, it's a good timer start. So the start and stop of the timer can be any size you want. In this case, we're going to set it up so that you can actually do it with a stopwatch if you like. So that we're going to have the stop in line with the start, and so the lefties will go one direction and the right-handed shooters will go the other. So what we're doing here, again, is setting up these gaits. And as you can see, in the distance here, they're about 12 feet apart. What we do is you have to hit these gaits, and I use the gaits in order to keep the horse at a certain distance off the target. Now again, the rider, if they're really skilled, can come right up next to the target or not. But they're always doing a chess game on their horsemanship and the time that they have to finish it. When trying to determine the perfect time par to finish the course in, what we do on flat even ground is we divide the distance in meters by 6, giving the rider 1 meter for every 6 seconds is the ideal time to finish in. On uneven ground or more dangerous tracks, we take and divide it by 5, giving the rider 1 second for every 5 meters of distance that they travel in. Notice how the rider leans either direction, steering the horse or using subtle touches of the reins in order to keep the horse on track while running the course and shooting. Another perspective from the inside, you see Gracie as a left-handed shooter guide the horse with her hands, lean into the targets and shoot as she goes by. She uses her body weight to help steer the horse using body English. She has to hit every gate in order. If she misses a gate, she has to go back and come back through the proper direction in order to keep from getting disqualified for a scoring run. Here we have a third perspective, like you're running down the track and you can see the gates on either side of the camera as it goes by. Notice how the horse leans with the rider in order to turn more easily. Also, when the rider must turn a different direction, he leans the opposite direction that he may shoot in order to hit the target and still make the gate. Finally, we see the perspective from what it looks like as a spectator or a judge. Notice Gracie's lined up on the tailgate of the truck in perfect alignment with the start and the finish. This means that you can host this event with nothing more than a stopwatch and without expensive timing equipment. Here we see Chris Young running through the course, hitting every gate and shooting targets as he goes by. Chris is opting to go as straight as possible so that he gets his time as close to perfect as possible, rather than get as close to the targets as he can.
Opa,